All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, with all of the current Major League Baseball talks surrounding the league's lockout, the Miami Marlins threw us a curveball today when Derek Jeter announced that he will be stepping down as the franchise's CEO, while he will also be giving up his 4% stake in the franchise. This is a shocker, as Jeter appeared to be set to do some big things with the Marlins when he was part of this group that purchased a franchise from Jeffrey Loria back in 2017. But plenty has changed since then, and you can hear it in Jeter's words as he was quoted as saying today, the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. And in my opinion, if you listen to Jeter's words, to me, it's code for same old Marlins, where the front office is not committed to winning. Now, under Jeter, the Marlins have only had one winning season, which came in 2020 during the COVID shortened 60 game season. And it did result in Miami making the playoffs before they lost in the National League Divisional Series to the Atlanta Braves. But other than that, the losing has really plagued the Marlins for the majority of their existence. The majority of the losing that we've seen plague them, it's still in place. I know, granted, we saw the Marlins win a World Series in '97. We saw them come back and win another one in 2003, but it's basically been downhill ever since then. You look at it, credit to Jeter, he was able to get from under long-term deals like the one that belonged to Giancarlo Stanton, as he was able to fleece the New York Yankees into taking him off of his hands via a trade. And you look at it, Jeter was building a young team with the Marlins in the mold that he was taught from the team that he played for, spent his entire MLB career with the Yankees. But the thing is, he found out, in my opinion, how different things are up north and how things are in South Florida in regards to how the franchises are run. And it comes down to the culture of the organization. And it's totally different when you don't have people around you that are committed to winning or spending money. Now, Jeter was spoiled with the Yankees. And I say that not to downplay anything that he accomplished with the Bronx Bombers. No, I say it from the standpoint that for the majority of Jeter's playing career, the Yankees were owned by the late great George Steinbrenner. If anybody knew George Steinbrenner, not personally, of course, but knew of how he went out there and proceeded with business, there was no such thing as second place for the boss. He wanted to win and win every single year. And you look at Derek Jeter, that's all he knew, and he embodied himself throughout his playing career to that commitment of excellence. And typically, when the great players have that, they expect everybody around them to follow suit. That to me has just not been the case, or wasn't the case with the Marlins. And I think the sentiment that you're seeing with the Marlins, as far as their non commitment to winning, I think that right there, in my opinion, sums up everything that's going on with this current lockout, because you don't have a lot of owners in Major League Baseball that are committed to winning. You don't have a lot of owners that are committed to spending money either. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. For me, in regards to Jeter, I expect him at some point, to turn things around, because and I say turn things around. I expect him at some point. It wouldn't surprise me to see him resurface on the MLB scene sooner rather than later. It would not surprise me to see him potentially take a job with the Yankees and work in their front office, maybe the MLB league office, or even try to form another business group to purchase another franchise. But this time, I think he would look for more of an ownership stake, along with having more people around him committed to winning. And I say that because, he had the 4% stake. Me personally, and this is only my opinion, I believe that some point Jeter's stake was going to increase and he was going to have more of a say. Not to say that he was going to become a majority owner, but nonetheless, I did expect that stake to increase at some point, and that was not the case. As principal owner, Bruce Sherman will continue to call the shots. Also, with Jeter's departure, what does this mean for Don Mattingly? Of course, Don Mattingly was the manager that Jeter brought in prior to managing with the Marlins. Mattingly did have a managerial career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, did have success. And of course, Mattingly and Jeter played briefly together with the Yankees, and Jeter idolized Mattingly when he was a youngster. And of course, Mattingly was a seasoned vet on his way out. Now, of course, obviously, Mattingly doesn't have the same protection. So it's going to be interesting to see how long he will stay with the Marlins. Granted, nobody knows what's going to go on for this season, but nonetheless, going forward. And for me, I think the Marlins will just continue to be a rudderless ship. You go back to when they last won the World Series in 2003. Since then, it's been consistent losing seasons. We saw this team lose 105 games just 2 years ago and 3 years ago rather in 2019. And they just finished the 2021 season by losing 95 games. So I look at it right now. Who benefits from Jeter's departure? I think it's the other four teams that call the National League East home, because guess what? This is now probably one less team that you're going to have to contend with going forward whenever the season begins, or even next year, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. To me, at the end of the day, I think South Florida loses out again, as the baseball fans, the few that there are once again getting screwed over by the Marlins management. I mean, we've seen, obviously it's a different owner, calling the shots this time around, but we've seen in the past where, the fans there have been tantalized. They've seen a winner put together only to be quickly destroyed multiple times, and every time thereafter it looked like the Marlins were on the cusp. The rug was pulled out from under the fan base. Then on top of that, you're looking at the stadium right now where the Marlins play. Nobody shows up there. A ton of money was spent, and to me, it's trying to put a square into a round peg, where you look at it, and no disrespect to anybody there, but Florida's more for spring training, because you don't see people supporting the Rays even though they win. You don't see people supporting the Marlins, and now you have this new stadium that nobody attends. And now they're not given another reason to attend anyway. I mean, attendance is going to be down all across Major League Baseball whenever this lockout is ended. It will end at some point. We just don't know when, but attendance will be down because fans are turned off. But with that said, attendance is always down for the Marlins. And for me, I really think instead of giving the Marlins this new stadium, it would have been better served maybe to renovate the Orange Bowl for the Miami Hurricanes football team. That to me, I think would have been better. But nonetheless, the people of South Florida are on the hook for the stadium, and nobody's going to attend. And right now, whatever little bit of hope that the baseball fans in South Florida had for the Marlins this year and the years coming forward, in my opinion, is out the window. This is just another sign of bad management. This just smells of a power struggle. And, you don't see a guy like Jeter walking away unless there was something brewing under the surface. There had to be people butting heads over control, and not just control, whatever direction that the franchise was going in. Jeter wants to win. He's a winner. You don't win as many World Series championships as he did by accident. And you look at it, when people are not committed to the common goal in the same aspect that you are, it's time to go in a different direction. So for Jeter, he's going to bounce back at some point. He's not going away from the baseball scene this quietly, and I guarantee you, being that this was his first time in the front office, he definitely wants to succeed. It's not a matter of if, but it's more going to be a matter of when, in my opinion. When we see the great Derek Jeter back in a front office or in an ownership capacity at some point in MLB. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.